You know the drill. The cast has been through hell, the plot is getting intense, and suddenly somebody goes, "Let's all visit a hot spring." Next thing you know, everyone is in towels, there's way more steam than any real bathhouse, and at least one character is planning to peek over a wooden fence and immediately regret it. Today we're climbing into one of anime's warmest and most notorious traditions, the Hot Springs episode. Why do so many shows detour to an onsen? Is it really just fan service? Or was there something more cultural and storytelling-wise going on under all that steam? The Hot Springs episode, or onsen episode, is the one where the cast visits a hot spring resort or bathhouse, strips down to towels or yukata, and spends most of the runtime soaking, chatting, and getting into trouble around the baths. In anime, it usually comes with a set of recurring ingredients: gender-segregated baths with a fence or wall in between, at least one attempt, accidental or not, to peek at the other side, relaxed slice-of-life scenes where characters talk about crushes, worries, or recent events, while half-submerged in hot water. In real life though, hot springs aren't just a trope, they're part of Japanese culture. Public bathing and onsen trips are normal ways to relax, socialize, and reset, with whole towns built around natural hot springs and school trips or family trips that include them. So onsen episodes are this weird hybrid, part genuine cultural representation, part excuse to put your cast in towels and slow the plot down for one steamy, chaotic detour. Early anime and manga already featured scenes of characters bathing or visiting public baths, because that's just part of everyday Japanese life. Before there was a named Hot Springs episode trope, you'd see protagonists relaxing at local bathhouses after long days, travelers staying at traditional inns with communal baths, or fantasy settings built around magical or healing springs. As anime started experimenting with special episodes away from the main setting, two related detours emerged: the beach episode and the hot springs episode. Beach episodes handled summer, swimsuits, and daytime fan service. Onsen episodes added a colder weather alternative with a more enclosed, intimate vibe. Early onsen-style episodes leaned heavily on relaxation and healing, characters soaking after battles, recovering from injuries, or using the hot water as a place to talk about trauma and future plans. But even in those, the seeds of the modern trope were already there. Characters comparing body types or teasing each other, jokes about who's more modest or shameless, and nervousness about mixed baths, towels slipping, or someone walking in at the wrong time. As more series adopted both beach and hot spring detours, the onsen episode slowly crystallized as its own recognizable trope, one that overlaps with the beach episode, but has its own rules, jokes, and emotional beats. By the time anime tropes were being cataloged online, the Hot Springs episode had its own page alongside the beach episode. At that point, it wasn't just characters go to an onsen, it was a pattern with expectations attached. One big reason it stuck is structure. Onsen episodes are perfect for giving the cast a breather after an intense arc, letting side characters talk and bond away from the main plot, and visually changing things up with yukata, wood interiors, and outdoor baths under the stars. They also make natural use of gender separation. Most real hot springs have separate male and female baths, so anime uses that to split the cast into two simultaneous conversations. On the girls' side, you get chats about crushes, insecurities, and emotional fallout, all the classics. On the boys' side, you get either genuine bro talk or a bunch of idiots plotting to peek over the fence. Double classic. That split is narratively useful. It gives same-gender friendships room to breathe, and it sets up classic sitcom-style misunderstandings when someone ends up in the wrong bath or walks through the wrong door. Of course, there's also fan service. Hot Springs let shows put characters in far fewer clothes without technically being explicit. Steam, towels, and strategic camera angles let animators push the envelope while still staying on the safe side of most TV standards. Depending on the series, the balance between cultural slice of life, character development, and fan service event can tilt heavily in one direction. Some episodes are basically steam-covered swimsuit calendars, others are surprisingly quiet and introspective. Once the Hot Springs episode became a recognizable trope, anime started doing what anime always does, pushing it to extremes and making fun of itself. At peak fan service, you get entire episodes where the main plot is already resolved, but the cast goes to a luxury onsen anyway, purely to show everyone in bathing gear and squeeze in gags about peeping, rivalries over body type, and towel malfunctions. You also get contrived setups, resorts that secretly hide bombs unless everyone stays in the baths, planets, or pocket dimensions devoted entirely to hot springs, or onsen that double as battlefields or monster traps. On the comedy side, the classic male side plot is, let's peek at the girl's bath, followed by elaborate but doomed schemes to look over the fence, getting caught, beaten up, or magically punished, and zero actual success. It's a gag so common people on forums can summarize it in one sentence. At the same time, some series explicitly mock all this. They point out how ridiculous the fan service is, reverse roles, putting guys on the fan service side, girls in the comedic role, or cut away from the peeping entirely to focus on actual conversations in the baths. There are also softer, more introspective variants, characters talking honestly about their fears or goals while staring at the night sky from an outdoor bath, mentors and students sharing quiet moments, or friend groups reflecting on how far they've come before the story ramps up again. So at peak absurdity, the Hot Springs episode is simultaneously a parody of itself, a fan service fusion event, and a surprisingly effective way to give the ensemble cast a rare chance to just exist together. So, why is the Hot Springs episode still a thing? First, it's anchored in reality. Japan really does have an onsen culture, school trips really do go to hot spring resorts, and people really do treat them as places to relax, socialize, and reset. Even when anime exaggerates the fan service, the basic premise feels believable to local audiences. Second, it's extremely versatile. In one location you can slow the pacing after intense arcs, show character relationships away from combat or classrooms, and deliver either comedy chaos or quiet emotional scenes, sometimes both in the same episode. Third, it offers visual and tonal contrast. A show that's normally dark, urban, or high-tech suddenly switches to wood, stone, steam, and yukata. That contrast makes the episode feel like a mini vacation, even if the characters are still dealing with heavy stuff. In modern anime, some viewers roll their eyes at onsen episodes as cheap fan service, while others genuinely look forward to onsen, beach, and festival as the holy trinity of comfort arcs. Cultural impact, 8 out of 10, say onsen episode, and most anime fans can picture at least one, even if they pretend they can't. Annoyance potential, 6 out of 10. If it's only about peeping gags and body commentary, it can get old fast. Meme longevity, 8 out of 10. From boys try to peek and get obliterated to planet entirely made of hot springs, this trope keeps giving the internet material. Verdict: the Hot Springs episode is messy, steamy, and occasionally profound. It's where anime takes a bath in its own cliches, and somehow still comes out feeling refreshed. As long as stories need a place for characters to relax, overshare, and maybe get hit for trying to peek over a fence, anime is going to keep heading for the hot springs. Tell me your favorite kind of onsen episode: pure comedy, genuine character bonding, or totally unhinged premise.